72 degrees and beautiful out here on Over the Hill Acres today. Tonight, I just got home from work a little bit ago. As you can see behind me, these big piles of scrap metal. These all have to get hauled out of here this spring. I'm going to start tonight by loading up my pickup so I can take a load back into the shop with me when I go to work, and then drop it off at the scrap yard after work tomorrow. So let's get this loaded up before it rains. It is kind of cloudy out, and they've got severe thunderstorm warnings out right now. I think I got enough time though to pull this off before it starts pouring. Come on along. This first pile that I'm going to tackle happens to be sheet metal left over from a house build. My in-laws built a house down the road from here. For some reason I got elected to store all the scrap metal, and most of it isn't any good. I'm going to keep the longer stuff, and all the shorter stuff and stuff with angles on it are going right to the scrap yard. Let's get her loaded. Alright, I'm going to walk down and get the tractor. I'll be right back. We need to push this stuff down and pack it in, and I got to put some heavier stuff on top of this tin or it'll all blow away. So I'm going to run down and grab the tractor. Be right back. Spring is coming. The daffodils are up. Let's go put the forks on this really quick. That'll be easier for picking up the metal in the bucket. some pretty heavy lightning moving in from the north of me. I'm gonna pull my truck over here and hand load a little more until it starts to rain, but I really want to keep that high lift out of the air while I'm handling metal and everything. I'm not in the mood today to get struck by lightning, so let's get the truck over here and see if we can finish topping off this load before the rain gets here, and if it passes, then I can use the high lift again to load up some bigger stuff. Okay, we're going to take a little break until this storm passes over. Well, I've been sitting in my truck for about 10 minutes. I think this storm's about blown through. There was hardly any rain with it, but the thunder and lightning was pretty intense there for a minute. So I think I'm going to get out and finish loading this truck up. It won't take me long, another 10-15 minutes, and we'll be done with this for today. Just nice to start getting going on this kind of stuff. The weather's finally broke. This week's supposed to be fairly decent temperature wise. Rain most of the week though, so I'm gonna have to play it by ear to see what I can get done outside. But if I get a load or two of the scrap taken in, I'll be happy. Gets that much less than I got to do later. So I walked down to get the tractor earlier, and those daffodils I showed you, those are kind of pretty, weren't they? I like those ones. They have the bell in the middle of them. My wife really likes them. Those were growing here when we got here. We dug up a bunch of them and transplanted them in different places of the property. Probably dig up a few more because eventually that area is going to get cleaned out of there. There's some stumps along there that are going to get dug out. So we'll probably get those all dug up and transplanted somewhere. Maybe around the pond down here or something. We'll see. She's the flower expert. And I'm going to get going on getting the rest of this truck loaded. So we'll talk to you in a couple minutes. Okay, I think I got pretty much as much on here as I dare get on. Not a real heavy load because there's a lot of tin in there and everything. I'm going to pull down by my work shed down here, and I got a little pile out beside the building of the other barn. I'm going to pick through that and get whatever I can that I can fit in all the holes that might be available back there, just to get rid of some more of this. Hauling scrap's a pain in the butt. I don't know why anybody wants to do this kind of stuff for a living, but it does pay a little extra cash. So we'll see if it was even worth the time loading this up tomorrow once I get there. Let's get down to the shed down there and get some of that loaded up too. Well, I got that load strapped down. I'm in the house now. I fed the dog. I think I'm going to grab a bite to eat, hit the shower, and relax for the rest of the evening. It's going to be another storm blowing through, so I'm not going to be able to get much more done outside. I got many tons more scrap to haul. I'll be able to get a few more loads in my pickup, but I'm going to have to borrow my father-in-law's trailer because there's some pretty heavy stuff back there and big that cannot fit in my pickup truck comfortably. I can get it in there, but there'd be no way to unload it when I got to the scrap plant, and I don't want those guys swinging those cranes around my truck trying to get it unloaded. I'd rather unload it myself. I don't mind it if they pull it out of the trailer, but I don't want them pulling it out of the back of the pickup truck. So we're going to work on getting the rest of that cleaned up here this spring and many other projects. But until then, I'm going to let you guys go and relax for the evening too. Hope you all have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.